You know that moment in a meeting when you finally speak and the room goes silent? Not a thoughtful silence, not a, interesting point silence. No, the kind of silence where people blink at you like you've just read out your internet search history. And then, 30 seconds later, someone else repeats your idea, and everyone suddenly loves it. If that's been happening to you, it's not your imagination. And it's not because your ideas are bad. It's because of 5 invisible communication mistakes that instantly make people tune out, even when what you're saying is smart, useful, and exactly what the team needs. Today, I'm going to show you what those mistakes are, why they happen, and how to fix them so people finally respond when you speak. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Meetings are not meritocracies. People don't respond to the best idea. They respond to the idea that's delivered in the most digestible way. And most people, especially smart, conscientious people, deliver their ideas in a way that's too long, too soft, too detailed, too apologetic, too late in the conversation. None of this is your fault. You were probably taught to be thoughtful, thorough, and polite. But meetings reward the opposite: clarity, brevity, timing, and confidence. Let's break down the 5 mistakes that are quietly sabotaging you.
Mistake number 1. You start with context instead of the point. This is the number 1 killer of good ideas. You start with, "So, just to give a bit of background," or "I was looking at the numbers earlier and I noticed that," or "I'm not sure if this is relevant, but..." By the time you finally get to the actual idea, people have mentally wandered off to lunch, their inbox, the meaninglessness of existence. Here's the fix: lead with the point. Explain after. This structure: here's what I think, here's why, here's the impact. Example: we should delay the launch by 2 weeks. The data shows a 30% risk of failure if we rush. A short delay protects revenue and reputation. Short, clear, impossible to ignore.
Mistake number 2. You sound like you're asking for permission. Listen to your phrasing. Do you say things like, "I might be wrong, but..." This is probably a silly idea. Just thinking out loud. Maybe we could consider. These are disclaimers, and they do 2 things. 1. They make your idea sound weaker than it is. 2. They give people permission to ignore you. Here's the fix. Remove the apology. Keep the humility. Instead of, "I might be wrong, but we should change the timeline," say, "Based on the data, I recommend changing the timeline." Still polite, still collaborative, but now you sound like someone worth listening to. Mistake number 3. You wait too long to speak. This one hurts, because it's usually the thoughtful people who fall into it. You wait. You listen. You let others finish. You don't want to interrupt. You want to be respectful. But in fast-paced meetings, waiting too long means the topic moves on, someone else says your idea first, your contribution feels late rather than helpful. Here's the fix. Jump in earlier with a simple entry phrase. Try, "Before we move on, I want to add something important," or "I'd like to build on that point." These phrases are polite, but they also create a natural opening for you to speak. Mistake number 4. Your idea has no "why now?" People don't respond to ideas unless they understand why they matter right now. If your idea feels optional, theoretical, or nice to have, it gets ignored. Here's the fix. Add urgency. Add consequence. Use this structure. If we do X now, we get Y. If we don't, we risk Z. Example: if we fix this onboarding issue now, we save 40 hours a month. If we don't, the backlog doubles by next quarter. Suddenly, your idea has weight, it has stakes. It has a reason to be discussed today. Mistake number 5. You don't signal that you're finished speaking. This one is subtle but powerful. If you end your idea with, "So, yeah," or "That's just my thought," or awkward trailing off into silence, people don't know whether you're done. They don't know whether to respond, so they don't. Here's the fix. End with a clear invitation. Try, "I'd like your thoughts on that," or "Does this align with what you're seeing?" or "How does this land with everyone?" You're not demanding attention. You're creating a natural conversational handover. The hidden bias no one talks about. Now, let's address something real. Sometimes people don't respond to your ideas because of bias. You're younger than the rest of the team. You're newer. You're quieter. You're not part of the inner circle. You don't speak with the same confidence as others. Here's the truth. You can't control bias, but you can control how you communicate in a way that cuts through it. When you speak with clarity, structure, and confidence, consistently, people start to recalibrate their expectations of you. They start to see you differently. They start to listen. They start to respond. The 10-second formula that makes people respond. Here's the formula I teach executives who struggle with this. 1. Point. What you think. 2. Reason. Why it matters. 3. Impact. What changes if we act. 4. Invitation. Signal you're done. Example. We should pause the rollout. The error rate is rising. Fixing it now prevents customer churn. Thoughts? That's it. 10 seconds. Zero waffle, maximum clarity. Why this works. This structure works because it matches how the human brain processes information in meetings. Point gives people a headline. Reason gives them logic. Impact gives them relevance. Invitation gives them a cue to respond. It's simple, it's fast, it's respectful. And it makes you sound like someone whose ideas deserve attention. What happens when you start communicating this way? Here's what you'll notice. People respond faster. People take your ideas more seriously. People reference your points later in the meeting. People start asking you for input. You stop being overlooked. You stop being interrupted. You stop being the person whose ideas get stolen. You become someone whose voice carries weight. Not because you changed your personality, not because you became louder, but because you became clearer. Final thoughts. If you've ever walked out of a meeting thinking, "Why does no one respond when I speak?" It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you're not confident. It's not because you don't belong. It's because no one ever taught you the communication structures that make people listen. Now you have them. Use them. Practice them, and watch what happens next. In the next video, we'll look at how some people sound instantly more authoritative in meetings. If you have enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe to Lucy Language Labs for weekly videos explaining executive communication. Bye for now.